Hey, what's up guys? I hope everyone's doing well and I hope that you're all having a great day. And thanks for joining me once again for your daily dose of Star Wars. Yes, J.J. Abrams is back in the fold of the Star Wars universe and the sequel trilogy. When this news initially broke, I noticed a lot of you guys weren't too excited or thrilled about the idea of J.J. returning to the franchise. But I found that somewhat unusual because in real life, I've never met anyone who doesn't like The Force Awakens. J.J. is replacing Colin Trevorrow as the director of the movie because he and the studio weren't in agreement on where they wanted to take the story. Rian Johnson has told us that he has no input on the direction of Episode 9. The only thing he is responsible for is The Last Jedi. JJ is going to move the story and the characters forward with what Rian's done, and luckily though, it seems that this is actually what he wants to do, and he doesn't want to remake Return of the Jedi. A lot more of the die-hard portion of the Star Wars fanbase wasn't pleased with The Force Awakens for the fact that some felt it was a remake of A New Hope. It sure did have similarities both visually, and it also paralleled some of the story elements with a few new story arcs for the individual characters, but it's understandable that there's a bit of hesitation from the fanbase about J.J. Abrams returning. However, the point of The Force Awakens was to refamiliarize movie-going audiences with the Star Wars film, and mission accomplished, as The Force Awakens was a huge hit in terms of financial success, critical response, and the appeal to general audiences. Now that that's done, Rian Johnson was able to take the characters in a new direction, and in Episode 9, J.J. Abrams is going to be able to have the creative freedom as well to continue this trend. J.J. recently did an interview with BBC, and in that interview, BBC said, "Both of these series that you're involved with, Star Trek and Star Wars, they change people's lives, don't they? Little boys, little girls end up saying, that's what I want to do. That's where I want to be." After that was said, J.J. Abrams responded with, "Well, it's certainly something that I'm aware of now, working on Episode 9. Coming back into this world after having done Episode 7, I feel like we need to approach this with the same excitement that we had when we were kids, loving what these movies were, and at the same time we have to take them places that they haven't gone, and that's sort of our responsibility. It's a strange thing. Michael's worked on things like Planet of the Apes and Star Trek and Star Wars, and these are the things of dreams. Yet we can't just revel in that. We have to go elsewhere. JJ wants to take Star Wars to a place that it's never gone, and this means that it won't be a remake of a film that came before it. He understands that they can't just remake the original trilogy every time Disney wants to put out another trilogy, and he understands that the story needs to go somewhere it hasn't before in order to prevent that from happening. Which is great news in terms of getting something new and fresh with the Star Wars franchise. Someone on Reddit got to meet J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio a few days ago, and they had photo to prove it, but that post has since been deleted, but Star Wars Newsnet was able to pull a few quotes from the thread. This portion you can choose to believe or not, but since Star Wars Newsnet felt confident enough to share this information with us, I'm willing to believe it. The quote reads, "They said that they're going to be brave, and there will be big surprises. I got the impression that J.J. felt like he had to refresh previous Star Wars moments for a modern audience in The Force Awakens, and now it feels like they have free reign to do whatever they want. Apparently they've had no interference from Kathleen Kennedy or the Lucasfilm story group. Episode 9 is also the film which unites all three trilogies and brings everything together. That's all they would tell me. I worry a little bit in the questions I was asking were too leading. I was speaking to Chris and he was talking about the original trilogy. I said how I grew up with the prequel trilogy and the prequels were my entry point into Star Wars. I asked about elements of the prequel trilogy coming into 9, and Chris said about how 9 unites all of it. He said 9 definitely makes it feel like they're happening in the same universe, and there would be prequel trilogy elements in Episode 9. They could be visual or thematic. He didn't overtly say that there would be returning planets, characters, or anything from the prequel trilogy. If this is true, this film has the potential to be great, and to go places that we haven't seen the franchise go. And that would be phenomenal to see, as it would tie all of the films together in a nice little bow, and it would be a great way to keep the Star Wars universe fresh and new, and to continue to change the context of the films that came before it to make it fit. That wraps things up for me here in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give this video a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. If you're a daily coffee drinker and want to be one of the first to see a new video as soon as I can get it up, hit that bell down there to receive a notification on your iOS or Android device. Thank you guys for watching. As always, keep loving Star Wars. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.